Bonjour les Yanaïn. Alors, ceci est notre deuxième leçon de la semaine. This is our second lesson of week 4. Écrivez la date et le titre. Jeudi 28 janvier ou vendredi 29 janvier. Le titre c'est Rencontre. Le starter. Remember, we've learned the differences between tu and vous in our previous lesson. So try to remember when you should use tu and when you should use vous. Write down 1, 2, 3, 4 in your book and write down tu or vous depending on the pronoun that you would use in the different context. So number 1, talking to your teacher. Would you use tu or vous? Number 2, talking to your big brother. Number 3, talking to your best friend who is 2 years older than you. Number 4, talking to a shop assistant. Off you go. Pause. Ok, on va corriger. Alors, talking to your teacher, you should use vous. You should never use tu talking to a teacher. Talking to your big brother, you should use tu. Talking to your best friend who's 2 years older than you, it's tu. Even if he's older than you, your best friend is somebody that you know well, so you can be informal. So you use tu. Number 4, talking to a shop assistant, you should use vous. It's a formal context. Okay, alors, I hope you've written down the date and the title. Today we continue with the objectives of this week. The title is Rencontre, meeting up with people. Today we are meeting people through listening and reading activities. Alors, premièrement, we need to learn new adjectives. And I thought it would be different to introduce you to vocab with a crack the code type of activity. So as you can see, you've got 5 words here, one starting with P, one here, another one here starting with F, another one starting with F, and the last one starting with P. So, using your knowledge of French, you need to try and crack the code to find these 5 adjectives in French. Some of them you might already know. For example, this one here, you already know this word. If you recognize it, you will find the letter that matches 8, 12, 2, and 12, and that will help you for the other words. Yeah. Try to recognize whether the gap should be a vowel or a consonant. That should help you. Common letters in French are E, A, O, T. So have a think. Would these letters be in these words? Where would they be? Okay. So crack the code, copy these 5 words in your book and translate them once you found them. The extension is, I hope you like math, you need to do the sum of the letters of each word. What's that number in French? Off you go. Pause now. Alors, I hope you managed to crack the code, Yanine. The first word was passionnant, fascinating. The second word was intéressant, interesting. This was the one that was easy to spot. The third one was fatigant, tiring. Then frustrant, frustrating. And prenant, time-consuming. How many did you manage to get? Okay, correct your work. This vocab will be used in the next activity, so make sure you remember it. Okay, on continue. Now go on Komodo to do the following listening exercise. It's exercise 4, page 101. Exercice 4, page 101. To access Komodo, remember that you need to use your science login. People who had issues with this, I've contacted you to reset your password, so everybody should be able to access Komodo. If you can't, you need to email your teachers right now so that this is sorted on time. But there should not be any problem. Right, so complete exercise 4. Pause now and do the work. OK. Alors, la correction. So here are the answers. 1 matches E, 2 matches C, 3 matches F, 4 matches D, 5 matches B, and 6 was A. Okay. So another rencontre. So in the listening, you had an interview, meeting somebody. Now we are going to meet somebody who speaks French, but is not French. Remember, French is spoken in many countries around the world. And today we are going to Canada. So this is a reading activity, but as always, I strongly recommend that you listen to me reading the text and follow what I'm reading as I'm reading it. This is the best way to get better at listening. The questions are in English. You need to answer them in English. Okay, I'm going to start reading the text, but once you've read the questions, remember to read the questions before doing the listening. So read the questions now. Ok, c'est parti. Salut à tous. Chez moi, à Québec, au Canada, la fête nationale, c'est le 24 juin. J'y suis allée l'année dernière avec mon frère. Pendant la journée, on a vu des groupes de rock qui étaient super. Et il y avait aussi un grand défilé dans les rues. Le soir, on a assisté à un feu d'artifice gigantesque. C'était fantastique et je pense qu'on va y retourner l'année prochaine avec tous mes copains. Charlie de Québec. You can listen to the text again and answer the questions. You have got 3 minutes. C'est parti. Pause this video. Ok, on va corriger. Alors, where does Charlie live? He lives in Quebec, in Canada. Quebec is a state, but it's also a city where you can see the red dot here in the east of Canada. The state of Quebec is this whole big state, okay? And Quebec City is there. So where does Charlie live? He lives in Quebec, in Canada. When is the National Day? The National Day is on the 24th of June. The answer was there. When did Charlie go to the festival? He said he went there last year. Okay. Who did he go with? With his brother. What 2 things happened during the day? So they saw rock bands who were great, and there was also a big parade on the streets. What happened in the evening? He says they attended a huge fireworks. When is he going to go again? He says that he's going to return there next year. Correct your work? Okay, so Quebec is a French-speaking state of Canada. In our next lesson, I'll talk to you a bit more about Quebec, but try and find out some information about Quebec. For example, why do they speak French? When did they start speaking French? Has it always been French speaking? Do you know any famous people from Quebec? Is the French language there exactly the same as the French that is spoken in France? So I encourage you to do some research and find out information about Québec. Ok, on continue. Nous avons réussi à atteindre tous nos objectifs. Now it's time for the plenary. Do remember these words. Do not look in your book, just from memory. How do you say fascinating, interesting, tiring, frustrating, and time-consuming in French? Have a think. Once you're done, go back in your book and find the answer. Ok, très bon travail, Year 9. Make sure you hand in your work and take the time to look at Quebec. I'm sure you'll find very interesting pieces of information about this part of Canada. Au revoir la classe!